I'm so curious about many things. So did you find an answer to your question? What was the blind spot?
Yeah. The blind. This was interesting because the blind spot was you cannot be wealthy and have real friends.
Oh wow. Mm-hmm.
I didn't know I had that
see.
belief. And I didn't know it because I wasn't wealthy when I started this whole journey. So you wouldn't have known. So it's something that trips you over later on in life.
Yeah.
So when I've discovered that, I'm like, okay, what else do I have in my subconscious that's going to trip me over later? I don't want to start another business. I don't want to start another venture and then find out that there is tripping points.
Mm-hmm.
Okay. So this is what got me really intrigued about, can you search the subconscious mind the same way you do business plans? You know, when a business grows from small to big, eventually you're going to have tripping points because once you're growing, you need to expand, you need to allow different things to be able to expand. Same thing with mind. When you're growing in any direction, if you want to live your full potential, there are going to be tripping points. Find those tripping points before you start. Just like with business, you'll prepare the business for the huge growth if you start thinking from the end and reverse engineer that. So that's exactly what I've done. And I've literally developed over the last 16 years, developed a way of searching for the subconscious mind to find all the error codes that somebody's dealing with.
That's blowing my mind because I was just, I'm asking myself, so the subconscious is so subconscious. I mean, how do we go there and can we really go there? Can you share your
Have you ever played with ChatGPT?
Yes.
All right, cool.
Yeah.
So I'll use this analogy, right?
My best buddy now. No.
That's it. Yeah, right. Everybody gets excited about AI, but what we don't realize is each one of us has probably the most incredible, the most amazing AI system within us, and that's the subconscious mind. It's so much more powerful than ChatGPT. So using the analogy of ChatGPT, if you put in input, okay, and say, okay, just pretend you're a lawyer and write me a letter, blah, 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 right? Yeah. ChatGPT stands for chat-generated pre-trained transformer. So whatever you put in, it just transforms into this, okay? So you want it to be a lawyer? Sure. It's not going to say to you, I'm not a lawyer. It's not going to say, you haven't actually gone to legal school. All it's going to do is go, okay, I'm just going to, this is called law of assumption.
Yeah.
So it's going to assume, okay, I'm going to be a lawyer. I'm going to create this letter for you. Subconscious does exactly the same thing. So the second you were conceived, you came in with not just a little body that grows into a big human, but you also came in with a self-learning computer. Okay, exactly the same model. In fact, ChatGPT was designed, or most of the AI is designed on human mind. So ChatGPT, okay, the only thing is the power of your mind is so much more powerful because it's not just a chat. It relies on the 5 senses. So from the second you're conceived, anything that you see, hear, feel, smell, and touch. In fact, as a child, the mind for the first 7 years is on hypnosis. The brain vibration is on theta, which is exactly the same as hypnosis. There is no, I am not a lawyer. I'm not going to be able to write a letter, okay? There's no filter in there. Yeah. So the child will literally, anybody that walks past for the first 7 years, it's like ChatGPT that's open for 7 years, and anyone that says anything to the child will get coded and create. So for 7 years, from a second conception, then born, 7 years, you were just absorbing. At the end of 7 years, somebody press play and say, and here's Reggie. Here's your character. Okay, so you know the saying, beliefs create your reality, or your beliefs create your. I mean, you know, we all heard that. I sort of questioned it a little bit because they were never your beliefs to start with. None of them. But after year 7, your mind, the conscious mind, which is the bicycle, the slower one, all it does is simply wants to make you right. So it proves it to be correct. So whatever you already have in your code, all it does is goes and fetches you experiences that prove it to be correct. So my belief of you can be wealthy and have real friends came from somewhere in the 7 years. Somebody just dumped it in, right? I didn't know it existed. And, you know, I was pretty successful in business. I was go-getter, overachiever, and I had beautiful lifestyle, but I didn't know I had that belief. And
Hmm.
the ability of actually going back into it and searching through the subconscious and say, okay, how would we search? So the way that we do it is we'll literally go through from the second you were born or even before you were born, parents and siblings, analyze your whole life and see what are the things, like obviously there are successes and different wonderful things that we've been able to experience, but there are also things that have not worked. Because subconscious controls everything, your health, your whole biology, right? So if you had a cold 3 weeks ago, it's not a coincidence. It's in a subconscious mind. If there is, doctors talk about, generational, let's say, for example, your parents had something and because of DNA, it's going to be carried on. Subconscious just copy paste. If your parents were going through stress when you were little, copy, paste into your subconscious mind. Even to the point where you've got, let's say a little child is running around and parents are busy, and then child falls over and parents stop and say, "You okay, Reggie? Okay, come here, give you a hug." Okay, little Reggie's going to learn, not you as a conscious being, but your subconscious mind, your computer's going to learn that is the way to get love.
Yes.
And the more child has experienced that, and that could be a loving family. I'm not saying that there is a trauma involved, right? It's a little too trauma for the subconscious. It doesn't care. So it just simply codes it in that that's the only way. If I get stressed, all I have to do is get sick and that's what's going to happen. So any sicknesses in your life, yes, there's medicine that can fix it, but they're only dealing with with the actual effect. They are not dealing with what's causing it. And it's the subconscious that will be bringing the experiences to prove you to be correct.
So basically what you're saying about the cold, I mean, it's fascinating. I'm trying to keep up here with my conscious mind, I guess. Well, I hope the subconscious is supporting me in any way.